All right, I'm kind of excited about this. I bought a Fesley guitar on Amazon and it was pretty great. Let's see how this one is. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and yeah, another Fesley guitar. Here's the deal. This came in yesterday. I let it sit in the box to acclimate. I don't have a whole lot of time today to do everything, but you know, I'm itching to open this thing up because it's a beautiful Les Paul style guitar. It's all matte black and it looks fantastic from what I saw on the Amazon listing, so let's go ahead and open her up. Yeah, I just wanted to open it and get it out of here so that later on, you know, if you have a YouTube channel, you're like, I guess I can't open that until I'm ready to film, right? At least if you plan to put it on your channel. So if I do it this way, if I don't have time to finish this up today, I can finish it up tomorrow or whatever. But I still get to play with it tonight. You know what I mean? All right. Okay, the Fesley guitars always come with a nice gig bag. This is a pretty sturdy gig bag. It's got a zipper here for your accessories and stuff. Boom. Wait. I guess it was already open. There we go. And this has got like the, not necessarily waterproof, but water resistant material on the inside of it. Let's put this aside for a second. Get this stuff out of here. So the model on this is the FLP350. Got a manual in here. Do you really need a manual for a guitar? I don't know. Some people might, especially if they're buying it on Amazon and it's one of their first guitars or something like that. And they go into everything. How to install new strings. They show you how to wrap it around the posts and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty great. Okay, and they even have the anatomy of the guitar in there, so yeah, that's nice. One of their Fesley straps, and these straps are not all too terribly bad. I mean, you know, it's basically a nylon strap, but it has leather ends on it and stuff, so that's kind of cool. The idea with this is that it's a starter kit. All right, and a cable. Now, this cable, yeah, I wanted to look at this because the listing I saw, it looked like it had metal ends on it, and they do. They're nice metal ends on this, and a Velcro little tie for it. Okay. Now look, these cables probably are not the best, but nice to have something as a backup. And then there's a little pouch that has you got your Allen wrench in there, which is going to be most likely for your truss rod. Back to the gig bag briefly. Of course, it's a backpack style thing. It's got some nice padding on the handle. Like I said, it's a pretty sturdy feeling gig bag with the handle right there. That's kind of cool. All right. Get her out of there. Now, I do want to make a comment about the packaging. When I got my first Fesley guitar, there was literally one piece of tape around the middle of the box, and the top of it had gotten torn and was flopping over, as you see right here in this clip. Now, this one did come with just the guitar box. Of course, you've got, you know, your gig bag inside there, and it's packaged nicely. You got plastic, and then you've also got the, well, I guess it's, I don't know what that stuff is. It's like a linen paper type of thing. All right. Got the bag off of there. Packed with silica gel, which is actually a good thing. You know, you're like, oh, what is that for? Well, moisture and wood, they don't really like each other too. Oh, well, moisture likes wood, but wood doesn't like moisture. So that's good. All right, headstock. Headstock looks really good on here. Everything looks really clean. This neck is like, I have to look at the listing again to tell you what the neck is made of, but it's got a really nice feel to it. It's a dark wood. It says on the back of it, Deluxe Edition. Get the rest of this off of here. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's a clean looking guitar. Nice and lightweight. It's got a belly cut right here, which most Les Pauls don't, so that's good. And it's got a cut right here for where your hand is going to be trying to get up to those high notes. So that's pretty nice. Even this paper that's on the neck, often the paper is like really, really cheap. This is almost like wax paper that's on here. Parchment or something. Oh boy, that is nice. I'm gonna have to take this off of here. It's got plastic on there. All right, take these out of here. Now, they do have a QC card on here, which means that somebody had to have looked at this. Now, they're stamped on there, but it says the 1st and the 6th. And it's giving you playability on here, so those should be what your action is. Now, I've got some tools on the way. I ordered some tools so that I could start working on my guitars instead of bringing them out to have the setup done on them. I'll do it myself. Yeah, I can do your basic setup here, but you might need some tools, like measuring those fret levels. So I won't be able to do that exactly, but boy, that feels really, really good. Let's see if it's actually tuned out of the box. Nope. Not at all. But that's okay. You know what? A lot of times they'll tune these things up when they're doing their QC and then they loosen them back up for shipping so it's not pulling tension on the neck. Got these nice circle inlays here in Fesley at the 12th fret. These look like they're active pickups right here, but they are not because there's no place for a battery on here. It's a bolt-on neck. Everything looks really good. Let me see the action on this. I know it's not tuned. Well, let's just see if we can do a quick tune on this thing. You know, a lot of these inexpensive guitars, they are pretty good out of the box. I mean, if I was a beginner and this was like my first beginner starter kit, then yeah, I mean, it works just fine for that. But if you've been playing them for a little bit longer and really know what you want, you might need to do a little bit more setup on it. I gotta say, these tuners are very responsive, so that is nice. They're nice and tight. I don't get any sloppiness, and they tune right up, so there we go. All right, well, I'm going to stretch these strings out, tune it a few times. I may not get back to finish this video until tomorrow, or maybe I'll find time to finish it up today. But either way, I wanted to get this thing unboxed. All right, so I've had the guitar for a few days now. I've played it off and on, and it actually plays really nicely. Out of the box, it was pretty much set up. The only setup that I had to do was a little bit of intonation, and that's not that big of a deal. And you know, that's something I've found even on high-end guitars. When I get them, I often have to set the intonation on at least a couple of strings on here. It was, I think, 4 strings had to be intonated. The frets on this are actually quite nice. There's no sharp edges on them. They're not jumbo frets on this. I feel like they're maybe medium jumbo or something like that. But according to Fesley, they are jumbo frets, so yeah, maybe I'm wrong. The mahogany neck on this is really nice, and the finish on the back of it is a satin finish, so it's a very comfortable feeling neck. And it's a pretty thin neck too. It's pretty fast. It's not a big baseball bat of a neck. Now I have recently gotten some nice tools from Music Nomad, and I've got their notched straight edge. I put that on here, and this neck is straight. Also, I used a fret rocker on all the frets, and they seem very level actually, for especially a guitar in this class. I mean, price class. The action on this was set really nicely out of the box. I lowered it just a tiny bit. So in other words, there's not a whole lot of setup that needs to be done on this, and that's a very good thing. The guitar itself is really lightweight. I like that quite a bit. It's thin, you know, it's not like a Les Paul thickness, and from what I can tell, there's an ESP guitar that is very similar to this in the thickness and probably the weight of it as well. You've got 2 volumes, obviously, corresponding to the 2 pickups, and 1 tone control, and the tone is pretty active. Let's go ahead and just do this real quick here. All right, so you heard it that way. Now let's take this tone and back it all the way off. Yeah, so the tone actually works really nicely on here. You almost don't need to go to that neck pickup, because here's the neck pickup with the tone all the way up. So yeah, I mean, you know, works quite well. I personally just keep the tone all the way cranked up and volumes all the way up on both of them. That's just me. Now these pickups, they're not the hottest pickups. You know, I compare it to, I don't know, maybe kind of a Les Paul sound, but in my opinion, it's not really a chug machine if that's what you're looking for. This is a Engel Fireball 25. Sometimes I like to just run these through this with no effects or anything like that, because I want you to hear it through a tube amp with nothing actually affecting it. So I've got my lead gain a little bit higher with this guitar. I'm at 3 o'clock on my lead gain, and it's still not really chuggy, you know. It sounds good, but it's not the chug machine if that's what you're looking for. can still get metal sounds out of it. And really, all you got to do is add a distortion or an overdrive pedal to it, and you're still going to achieve that stuff. Again, I'm just showing it to you straight into an amp. But you know, the playability on it is really good, especially for the price. If this was my first guitar, I'd really dig that. And overall, having a few different guitars with a few different sounds for some different purposes, that's always a good thing. Now see, for something like that Toady song right there, it sounds perfect. I don't need any overdrive or anything like that. But if I was trying to play some Metallica or something like that, I might need that, so you know. So for me, this guitar looks really good. I mean, I love this matte black look to it. I mean, it's kind of that murdered out look, right? Everything is all black. Metal knobs on here are nice. The pickups, well, when I first saw it, I was like, ooh, that has active pickups on it, but these are not active pickups. So had they been, I might have gotten that extra push that I want from the pickups. But, you know, like I say, this guitar is going to have its place in my arsenal. There's going to be some songs, maybe like a Toady song or something like that, will just sound perfect on here. And if you're picking this up as your first guitar, you're probably going to get a distortion pedal anyway. So yeah, you'll have all the distortion you need. The cutaways on this guitar are actually really nice. It sits nicely on your lap or while you're playing it standing up. The fretwork on it is really good. And that's another thing I didn't mention earlier. They're not scratchy, you know, and that's a good thing. They seem to be at least somewhat polished. I've always liked these circle inlays, so that's cool. And overall, Fesley makes a really good guitar for the price. And that purple one that's hanging up over there, I had some issues with the fret ends. Some of them were pretty sharp. Well, I've got some tools, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of videos showing some of my setup stuff that I've learned and that I'm still learning, and maybe you can do it for yourself. But yeah, that is the Fesley FLP350, sort of their Les Paul or ESP style guitar. And it's pretty darn nice. And from what I understand, this is actually on sale right now on Amazon. It usually lists for $179. I know, right? $179. And there's like 11% off or something on there. But yeah, I'll put a link down in the description. I'm not an Amazon affiliate. You can check it out for yourself. Yeah, I sat down to play today and was feeling a little bit rusty. I've been out for like 2 weeks. I had to go to Las Vegas for an electric skateboard convention, which was fantastic. Not just the electric skateboard convention, but you know, Las Vegas. I hate being away from my guitars for that long though, because I'm like, ah, man, how's this gonna feel? And it always does feel a little bit rusty when I get back. But this guitar, it's a nice guitar, and I quite enjoy it. So I've got a whole bunch of guitar stuff coming up here. I've got actually right now 3 Firefly guitars here, and there's another one on the way. These things can be addictive, right? But yeah, I've got all those to review. I've got another amp to review. And if there's anything that you have been looking at and you're like, that doesn't cost over $1,000 that I might be able to get my hands on, let me know down in the comments and we'll see if I can get it here on the channel. Mostly, I just really, really appreciate you. One of the things that I found out at the electric skateboard convention is that people that know my channel for that are also like, dude, I love that you're doing the guitar stuff now. I play guitar, and I'd say probably 75% of people that I talk to out there are like, oh yeah, I've got a guitar. Yeah, I'm learning guitar or whatever, but I really enjoyed doing this and sharing these bits of content with you. Most of all, I want to thank you so much for your support, and if you like what you see, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there and a notification bell. Click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. Well, like I said, I've been out for a couple of weeks and just getting back into the swing of things, so stay tuned. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.